What is up, guys? Randomonium here. We're going to be going over Sylas the Unshackled. He's the new champion that Riot just revealed. Should be out in a patch or two. We'll go over his the video that came out with him, and then we'll go over his abilities. I've got his numbers as they are on the PBE, and we'll just kind of get a general sense for who this character is and where I think he's going to fit in the meta. And I am going to be giving away some codes for the Blood Moon Sivir skin for this month. So I'll give you guys a couple different ways to win at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's jump into the video first on the introduction.
Honor, justice, tradition.
Been there a while.
All shackles for the ignorant. After 15 years,
It's kind of a yin yang on the time, the days he's crossing out.
I see a world without lords or peasants, where every Demacian is a king, where those who keep us in chains have their power ripped from their grasp.
Definitely revolutionary.
Rise up, brothers and sisters. Whatever they bring, we'll match it. Crush the oppressors. Claim your birthright. And burn their kingdom to the ground. All we need to start the fire is a single spark.
Alright, I like it. I do really like this. Comrade Sylas, guess we'll call him. Revolutionary, got some communist ideas. Very interesting. I was actually hoping they were going to go this route with Demacia, where they were going to have some type of internal struggle with the country regarding the magic ban. I thought they were going to do it through Lux. But they're introducing this new champion, and obviously this new champion will be tied a lot to Lux, since she's, you know, a magic user in hiding, all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's some really interesting lore implications that I'm hoping that they will play out as a result of this champion being released. But let's go through his abilities real fast. So passive, Petricide Burst. After casting a spell, Sylas' next basic attack whirls his chains around him, damaging nearby enemy. It's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, so he uses his ability, and then he gets an AoE auto-attack. That looked like a really fast cooldown. And he just immediately went into it again. Okay, interesting. Q. Chain Lash. Sylas lashes out of his chains, dealing and slightly slowing enemies. After a brief delay, the intersection of the chains detonates, applying increased slow and damaging enemies again. Intersection. So I gotta check if that's the key word, if it's only the intersection that deals the extra damage, or whether it's the entire length of the chains that does the damage again. Looks like it's just the intersection is the second AoE. So that kind of gives him a higher skill cap. Because you got to make sure that you hit where the chains intersect, so you can deal the additional damage and get the higher slow. Kingslayer. Sylas lunges at the target with a powerful strike, damaging them and healing himself. If the enemy is low health, the damage is increased. If Sylas is low health, the heal is increased. Okay, this gives him some good dueling capabilities. When he's low health, he gains a pretty massive heal. Yeah, and that deals a nice chunk of damage too. That healed him for a freaking lot. So gives him some good dueling power. Be interesting to see what the cooldowns are on that. Whether you can use them multiple times per fight, basically. So E is abscond, abduct. So Sylas dashes a short distance and shields himself. Okay. And then for a short time, he can recast the ability to whip out his chains, stunning, damaging, and pulling himself to the first enemy hit. Alright, so that's cool. It gives him terrain scaling. It gives him ability to dodge CC. And then he's got a long-range engage with crowd control that also deals damage. And then obviously his ultimate is hijack. So Sylas hijacks an enemy's ultimate for his own use. Enemies can still use their ultimates if Sylas takes them. Sylas can take an enemy's ultimate whenever hijack is off cooldown, but he can't hijack the same enemy for a while afterwards. Obviously, this is extremely powerful, especially depending upon what the scalings are and what the cooldowns are and stuff like that. So yeah, we can watch this real fast. It's pretty short. He steals the ultimate. And then a lot of his abilities seem pretty short cooldowns. So, interesting. Okay. And we got his splash art. Looks like he used Lux's ultimate to break out of prison. That's what the trailer kind of indicated that he probably did. Was you can see the circular hole you would expect to get from Lux's ultimate. I don't know who that is in the background. Doesn't look like Lux because I see the white hair. It's not the golden hair that you would expect from Lux. So I'm curious who that is in the cell reaching out to him. So interesting. Let's look at his numbers because I think that's the most important part. So his passive. So this says that it's on a cooldown, actually a pretty long cooldown, which it didn't look like it had that in his here. If I go back to this, so he uses his Q, then he gets the AoE, then he uses his W, and he immediately gets the AoE again. So right there's a little bit of a difference between this and how it looks like his passive actually works. It actually looks like it's a longer cooldown, which definitely hurts him for things like the jungle if he's trying to clear AoE camps. So it gives him... So the next attack deals 100% total AD. I wonder if that's in addition to the normal auto attack, or if that's just like he gets his total AD because that's what a normal auto attack gets, plus some bonus damage, plus 20% of AP. That's pretty damn low as an AP ratio goes compared to some other champions. So combine that with the long cooldown, it doesn't seem too powerful to me, actually. So yeah, I'm interested to see if they're going to change that cooldown to make it more reasonable, because that means you basically only get once per fight and only once per jungle camp and things like that. Which could definitely hurt him if he was doing jungle. So his Q, 9-second cooldown going to a 5-second cooldown. He gets the X-shaped area, deals 40 to 145 magic damage with 60% AP scaling. The slow is 15 to 35%. And then the intersection point deals 45 to 145 damage again, and then 60% AP. Okay, so you basically double the damage if you hit with both the first and the second. So it's kind of like Poppy's Q or something like that, but it's got longer range. And the explosion deals 60% damage to minions. So definitely makes it worse for wave clear. Which I guess makes sense. It doesn't say that it's reduced for monsters, though, so that definitely still opens him up to being a jungler in that sense. So yeah, that's actually not bad. That's like 90 damage plus a 120% AP ratio at level 1. That's enough to, I think, to probably to clear the jungle. So I definitely think his viability as a jungler is still there. So could also be a laner. Okay, so his Kingslayer, 14-second cooldown to 12 seconds cooldown, deals 60 to 180 damage with a 55% AP ratio, increases to 90 to 270 with an 83% AP ratio if the enemy is below 40% health. And then damaging an enemy heals 50 to 250 with a 40% AP ratio increase to 100 to 500 plus an 80% AP ratio if he's below 40% health. Holy cow, that's a massive heal. That's a massive heal if he's low health. But it's on a 12-second cooldown, which is pretty dang long, and that's at max rank. 14-second cooldown at rank 1. And it doesn't heal him if he's attacking jungle monsters. It's only champions. So he doesn't have jungle sustain, it looks like, which could hurt him from a jungle perspective. It makes him better as a laner when he's actually trading with enemies and things like that. I don't know what the range of the W is. It doesn't look like it's that long. But yeah, that's a really nice heal. That makes his trading pattern really good. He could definitely kind of do health trading with enemies and then heal back up again. It makes him very good at dueling, because if his enemy's below 40% health and he's below 40% health, he deals a lot more damage and he heals for a lot more too. So looking pretty good as a duelist. Abscond, Abduct. He dashes, shields himself for 60 to 180 plus 90% AP. Whoa, that's a healthy AP ratio. And then he throws his chain, he deals 50 to 110 plus 20% of AP and knocks them up for 0.5 seconds. That is different than what it said here. Here it said it stuns them. So it says it stuns them. It looks like it stunned them and knocked them up. So, okay. I'm assuming it's a stun and a knock up for 0.5 seconds. Pretty low AP ratio. So that's definitely not a damaging ability. But it's definitely a good gap closer on a fixed 10-second cooldown. Okay. And then Hijack. So the cooldown is 85, 50, and 15 seconds. Holy cow. 15-second cooldown at rank 3. So at level 16, he can be stealing a lot of ultimates. So when you hijack the enemy's ultimate, it places on a cooldown for 200% of the enemy's ultimate cooldown. So basically, if you steal someone's ultimate, you can't steal it again for double the cooldown, which it would hurt him from a laning perspective. So you hit level 6 against your lane opponent, you steal their ultimate, you can trade ultimates against them, but then they're going to get their ultimate back before you can steal the person's ultimate again. So that definitely puts him at a disadvantage from a laning perspective, which would lead me to believe he'd be better as a jungler or a support, because if you're a support, then you can steal either bot lane or the support's ultimate, and then you basically just trade off. You steal one, then you steal the other, then you go back. And so, yeah, that definitely leans me more towards jungle or support for him. Maybe a mid laner, like if he was able to roam a lot, but I don't know how strong his wave clear is going to be, since his Q only deals 60% damage to minions. And then it looks like he converts non-hybrid AD ratios into AP ratios, granting him 0.5 AP for a 1 bonus AD ratio and 0.4 AP for a 1 total AD ratio, respectively. I have a feeling that's going to be broken. I can't think of any ultimates off the top of my head where it is going to be broken. But this is definitely going to be very interesting, because there's some champions that have some pretty crazy AP ratios that don't normally build AP. That this might be really good. Like there's some tank champions. Even somebody like Pantheon. Pantheon's got an ultimate that's got an AP ratio, but Pantheon doesn't normally build AP. Tristana has a really high AP ratio on her ultimate, but she doesn't normally build AP. There's a couple others that I know I'm forgetting, but this could be really, really interesting. And I'm sure that he's probably broken with some AD ultimates too that I'm not even thinking of. But yeah, this could be really strong with certain champions. This definitely puts him as a really interesting counter pick for certain team compositions and certain champions. He's got really good ratios. I know that people have been saying that they think he's going to be a bruiser, like an AP bruiser. But his ratios are so good that I could definitely see him also just people building him like straight AP, and just bursting people. So that's kind of interesting. As far as his play style is concerned, he seems like he's more of I'd say probably closest to being a diver, like a sustained diver. But he may just fall better into a specialist category, especially with his ultimate. His ultimate's just really unique. And I think that's where a lot of his power budget is, especially on a 15-second cooldown at rank 3. That's going to make things really interesting in team fights. That means that he could, probably not steal 2 ultimates in a single team fight, maybe if the team fight goes on long enough. But that means that he pretty much will always have an ultimate for every single fight that happens. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited for this guy. I think because he's got the terrain scaling, he's got that long range engage. I think he could jungle. I think that he's going to struggle a little bit since his heal doesn't work on large monsters. That's going to definitely slow him down a little bit. And the fact that his passive is on such a long cooldown, based off of what Surrender at 20 says, that's going to hurt him as far as his jungle clear. I'm curious to see if that's actually how he's going to wind up being once he gets released on live, if his passive is still going to have such a long cooldown. Definitely looks like cooldown reduction is huge on this guy. You want to probably max out your 40% cooldown reduction as fast as possible. So yeah, maybe like a Lich Bane would be good on him. Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I like this guy. I think he's going to be really good. From a competitive standpoint, I could see him being really broken. So I'm definitely curious to see what happens with how strong he is in professional play as well. So those are my basic thoughts on him. He seems really interesting. I really love the idea of hijacking ultimates. I love the idea of an AP bruiser. I think we need a lot more of those type of champions in the game. I'll be really happy if he's a jungler, since I normally play jungle. But I got to see him potentially being a support, since he does have the CC. He's got some reliable poke damage from his Q. And he's got some, with his hijack, he could steal both the bot laner and the support's ultimates. So that kind of is my thoughts on that. Let's get into the giveaway for the Blood Moon Sivir. So it's the green Chroma. So I think it's this one. That's the one that I'm giving away. But so you get the skin, and you'll also get the green Chroma. And the ways that I'm going to let you guys win that. So I'm going to give you 3 ways again. So the first one is that I just went over 15,000 subscribers. I think at 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to do an AMA. So the first way you can win is ask me a question. No question is off limits, or I'm not going to get offended by any question you could potentially ask me. So ask me a question for the AMA. I'll copy it, I'll snip it, and I'll save it for the AMA that I'm going to do at 20,000 subscribers. It can be either league related or non-league related. I'm not going to really balk at any question. I'm not going to get offended by any question. So definitely don't feel like you have to ask me something nice or ask me something cutesy or something like that. If you want to ask me something controversial, then I'm definitely down. The second way that you can win the Chroma is you can let me know what you think is going to happen in Season 9 from the meta perspective. So Season 8, things were incredibly crazy when it came to meta. We had gold funneling, we had mages bot lane, we had all this crazy stuff. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the meta, especially at the professional level, since I love watching professional. You can even also give me like your predictions for how you think different teams are going to do at Worlds, or how different teams are going to do at MSI. Or if you're just interested in one region, let me know what your favorite team is and why they're going to win their respective regions, spring split, or things like that. So that's the second way that you can win. And then the third way that you can win is let me know who your favorite champion is and why everyone else is wrong that that champion is not their favorite champion. So I definitely want you guys to be clever and creative with that, and let me know why your favorite champion is the best, and your favorite champion being the best is the only correct answer. All of their answers are wrong. So I would be interested to see what type of flame war happens as a result of that. But all three of these ways that you can enter, the best way to enter is on my Discord, since I can very easily private message you if you win. Please be sure to include your region, what server you play on. That makes distributing, getting the codes out a lot easier. If you let me know if you're NAEU, whatever other region, we'll figure it out. Just let me know so I can give you the right code. You can leave YouTube comments, but keep in mind that YouTube has very interesting privacy settings, and I may not be able to message you if you leave a comment on YouTube, depending on what your privacy settings are. So you can always leave like your Reddit name, or you can leave your Discord name. I wouldn't leave your League in-client name because I may not be able to contact you depending on what server you're on. In general, I'd say like Reddit or Discord are probably the best options. So hope you guys like that. 3 ways you can win. Ask me a question for my AMA. Let me know how the meta is going to be different in this season, or let me know why your favorite champion is the right favorite champion and the only correct answer to that question. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.